EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present third round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. We are into the third round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. 50 PGA Tour cards up for grabs, dreams about to be made.
It's amazing what's ahead of these young players, Rich. Not just getting through the next two rounds, but also trying to suppress perhaps what might be for them next year.
For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the fourth. Frank, this time to get it going. Made some pars to this point, but if you want to win, you have to make birdies.
Rich, I think the thought of winning has to be removed from one's psyche right now. You've just got to worry about what's in front of you. It just looks confused, forgetting about playing the actual game itself. Winning happens by a series of good shots. It's get back to the basics of playing golf.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. That is how it's done right there. What an approach shot. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better. Even par, currently.
So has the par. Moving on to the next hole, and the lead, Frank, is very much intact. Now to the fifth. This long par 4 thought to be one of the most difficult holes on the front side here at the TPC Sawgrass.
If you've got plenty of length in the bag, you can almost take it directly over the bunker on the right. But if you're not as long, you have to air down that left side.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Right in the heart of the fairway, green light special.
Rich, this is a rarity. A golf instructor or a former golf instructor trying their hand. This is old school. You used to see it in the 40s and the 50s. People used to go and teach in pro shops, then come out on the tour. I have not seen this for many a year. Someone good enough to teach, but good enough to play.
You're hearkening back to the 30s and 40s when guys like Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson, two of the greatest to have ever played.
They took club jobs.
They had to take club jobs. There wasn't that much money in those days in the professional ranks. Another guy that comes to mind is Claude Harmon. Now, I think most people know the name Butch Harmon. He was one of Tiger's most successful teachers along the way. Solid play, heart of the green. That is a solid par putt. Frank, this isn't a hole that sort of jumps out at you the way, say, 17 does.
Yeah, a lot of times people will just sort of gloss over it, but anytime you get a par 4 into 400 yards, it's a great opportunity. But once again, a positional hole. Take advantage of it.
Frank, approach shot here at 6. Good chance to make birdie?
There is. You can almost cut this green into thirds. There's that...
On the safe side. Ooh, nice play right there. That's in pretty close. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Did the job right there. Frank's 7th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. How do you break this one down?
Not overly long, 440 yards, but once again, it's a tee shot. If you're driving the ball well, that's fine. You just sort of blister it down there, but you're starting to lose one a little bit to the right. There's 3 pot bunkers there, and of course, if you're fearful of it going left, there's the canal all the way down the left side that'll get your attention.
That's in the fairway. Now playing the 2nd here at the par 4. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Safely aboard. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. That was a good run right there. Almost went in.
At least he's seen the line as it went past the hole. So just replicate that on the way back.
Getting set now over the putt. Hard-fought par right there. Frank's 17 here at TPC Sawgrass gets all the attention when you look at the par 3s, justifiably so. But number 8 is a daunting challenge in its own right.
It is, longest of the 4 par 3s, plus it's just littered with bunkers around the side, the back, and the front.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. So close, just a tap in from there. Par bid here. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2, but you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, narrow entryway to this green here at the 9th. Short shot, but kind of difficult.
Yeah, don't want to get too aggressive here. You missed the green on the left, that bunker there. Very difficult to get it up and down. And, of course, there's the 2 little pot bunkers on the right side.
Frank not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here would really set him backwards.
He's made the green. Well done. And that wraps up the third round. Just one more to go before we crown our champion.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm looking at my crystal ball, Rich, but that champion that we see tomorrow might be the one just sitting at the leaderboard on top of it right now.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present final round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. It is the final round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the last stop of the Web.com Tour Finals, and what a huge day it is, Frank.
One round will determine whether they graduate from the Web.com or back again here next year. The chance of graduation, though, the richest. Play with the greats of the game, all on play today.
To where the hole is cut, just about 190 yards, Frank. Oh, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
Frank, I hate to go negative, but let's clear a few things up. The penalties when you hit it in the water versus hitting it out of bounds.
Yeah, some people, that's a good question, Rich, because some people think they're almost the same, but when you hit it out of bounds, you're actually losing a stroke and a distance. For example, if I'm teeing off on a par 4 and I hit it out of bounds, I'm penalised a stroke for hitting out of bounds, and I'm hitting my third shot off the tee. When I hit it into a water hazard, I don't have to lose all of that distance. I can drop the ball up just short of the water hazard. So the distance penalty isn't the same as if it was out of bounds.
So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop, this now the third shot. That's a bad bogey at a bad time in the tournament.
You'd like to think it's just a slip on the controller.
Frank Tiger certainly had his adventures here at 14.
Well, we'll never forget that. Spun it left. In the end, was very, very lucky to get away with 6. Had it been 7, Garcia might have just caught him at the post. But he will, and we will, never forget 14.
Frank, there's a lot to factor in on this approach at the 14th.
But you can favour right side of this green and sort of allow the contours of the green just to move that ball to the left.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, he'll have to get up and down from the bunker to save his par. You know how to play this shot, Frank, right? You keep your chin up, you look down your nose at the ball, you have to pick it cleanly, and keep your head still. And he's made it onto the green now. Settles in over the putt.
That's a good par there, Rich.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Has his par. Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway.
Second shot.
Well, it looks as though they're going to need to use all their strength to sort of hack it out of that rough, missing it off the tee here. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. He'll need to be strong with this. See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. For the par. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
If you're wondering, and we know you are because we're at the 17th, 44 balls in the water here in 2013, 28 in 2014.
That's when the wind laid down, Rich. If the wind gets up, that number will escalate.
This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Very impressive and on the move right now. final drive of the day and makes it a good one in the fairway. Now he just needs one final good swing here, the approach shot to the last.
That green's starting to look a little smaller than what it did earlier in the day.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from that.
Solid play, heart of the green. And he makes it for par. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.